Welcome back for our first official episode, or second. This is our second. This is our first one where we're talking about teams. Yeah. I am Lauren.
I'm Abby.
And this is Two Girls Chirping.
Yeah. Today we are talking about the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Okay.
The Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Islanders.
Yeah, the ones that are right up there.
They're like right there, on a map. And so sorry. I just completely lost my train of
thought. And that's all.
That's it. Thanks for watching.
I hope you had fun because I know I did.
Yes. First, we're going to talk about the Hurricanes.
Okay.
They're in Carolina.
First of all, I just want to get this out of the way.
Yes.
It feels like a bad call that they're named the North Carolina Hurricanes, and didn't like the dam just break up there and the whole state essentially is like really badly flooded.
So yeah, they're not the North Carolina first, they're just the Carolina Hurricanes, but they are in North Carolina.
So they represent both of the Carolinas?
Yeah, they're just Carolina.
Okay, I was curious about that.
Yeah.
That explains it.
Yeah.
Anyways, our thoughts and prayers to those in the Carolinas.
Yes. Gosh.
Do we want to take bets on if they're going to change the name after this travesty?
They won't. They are doing...
So they're not like the NFL?
No, considering that one of the teams is named after a civil war.
In this day and age?
They were on the right side of the Civil War.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you were anti-slavery.
Yeah.
If you were on the right side.
Yeah, well,
if we're talking Confederate, then get that shit out of here.
But
y'all are not my people. I don't know you.
I don't know you. Actually, don't want to know you.
No,
the Carolina Hurricanes are actually raising funds because I think it was a few hours away from them that all of that flooding happened.
Ooh.
So I think it's still open on their Instagram is where I've seen it. But
if so, we'll drop the link. Feel free to donate.
Yes, for sure. So if you've listened, you've probably put together, we are motorsport fans. We're very casual. We're very quiet about it. We don't make it our whole personality. Don't pay attention to her coffee mug. Do you want to show it more to the camera?
Sure. This is my Slay Max mug.
You get a little closer.
This is Max Verstappen. How close do you want me to get? Let me come right up on you. So as you can see, he is slaying. It's all about the slay. So for those who don't know, Max Verstappen is
that bitch.
Correct. He is a Formula One 3-time, almost 4-time world champion. If we can,
I think this would be
pull
his
it
third.
off. No, this would be his first. 2021, Abu Dhabi. If you know, you know. 2022 and 2023 was his third time. So if he wins the fourth one, which it's pretty inevitable, the last time I checked, the math checks out that he's still gonna win it.
Yeah.
Then he will be a fourth time Formula One world champion. So we are big Max fans here. I will ride or die for him. If any of y'all have a bad word to say about him, you don't want to say it here. If Max doesn't have any friends or fans, I'm dead. I want to be clear, I'm not necessarily a Red Bull team.
No.
I am a driver supporter.
Back to why we're here. We are to help her have a little bit of a comparison of what the team's vibes are. I'm going to give her an F1 equivalent to each team.
To make it make sense for me.
To make it make sense to her. So, Carolina Hurricanes.
Okay.
I put them as McLaren.
Current McLaren or historical McLaren? Because there is a huge difference.
I'll tell you why I did McLaren and you can.
Okay.
So, McLaren and F1, very like young, youthful.
Yeah, young, hungry team.
Young and hungry.
They've been around for a long time, but their drivers are very young, very marketable, very good PR.
They've had really good seasons. They've had awful seasons.
We do not speak about the season opener of 2023. We do not bring that up. It lives rent-free in my nightmares, and I don't ever want to speak on it.
Yeah. So I chose them as McLaren because they have a lot of really young players, really hungry players. They also have kind of that, I don't want to say douchebag energy, but a little bit that McLaren kind of has a little bit of.
Yeah.
And they've made some controversial decisions that have
So they're a diva.
and
It's
not
not bad.
necessarily. They just give off McLaren vibes.
Okay.
Okay. They were. I'll get into it. You remember the WHA NHL merger?
Yeah. What a shit show.
Yeah, fair. They were one of those teams
Oh
that
no.
merged. So they were founded in 1971 originally as the New England
That's the year our mother
Whalers.
was born.
Oh my gosh, you're so right.
She's
She's
not
alive.
dead.
She's alive.
Fine. She's fine.
They were founded in 1971 in the WHA
Okay.
as the New England Whalers.
Okay. It's a choice.
It is a choice. I think that
Hurricanes fits better, just geographically speaking.
they were in New England at the time. Hence the New England Whalers.
Okay, that's the part I missed. I thought
Okay.
you said the Carolina Whalers, and I was like, okay.
No, they came in. They were a very stable team in the WHA.
Okay.
But when they came in to the NHL, they were not great. They had some rocky seasons. They came in, changed their name to the Hartford Whalers because there was already a team in New England,
Okay.
an NHL team.
Okay.
So they moved to Hartford,
Okay.
became the Hartford Whalers, and they were the Whalers and They were the Hartford Whalers from 1979 to 1997.
Oh, shoot. A long time. Okay.
Yes. And they never really had much success.
Mm-hmm.
They were fighting over fans for a while.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the teams that merged were fighting for fans with NHL teams because they were in the same cities.
Because
as
the
a lot of
NHL
them.
was an absolute douchebag about that acquisition.
Yeah.
From what I'm getting.
They weren't awful, but they did struggle. They weren't as successful as they were in the WHA.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, this is a fun fact.
We love a fun fact.
In 1992, they hired Jim Rutherford
Okay.
as the general manager, and he was the general manager for 20 years,
Oh, wow.
which feels like a very long time. That's almost my entire lifespan
Yeah.
to date, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm 23. I'm a baby.
If he had gotten 3 more years, you'd be equal, dang it.
Yes, but because they were fighting so much for fans and in the area, it wasn't a good area for a hockey team, an
Yeah.
additional one to be, they decided to move to Carolina, North Carolina specifically. And they became the Carolina Hurricanes.
Okay. I mean, that's a good choice.
Yeah. Kind of sad now. It feels hindsight's 2020.
Oh, is this that team that you said you love?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a Hurricanes fan. So actually, I try really hard to have the same amount of material for each team.
Yeah.
It was hard for the Hurricanes, and it'll be hard for the Devils because they're two very popular teams.
Ooh, the Devils. Ooh.
Yeah, the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, that tracks. Oh, God, that I just know. I love a name like that.
Yeah, they're very
The
similar
Devils.
vibes.
Very sassy. I love.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyways,
it's a lot better than that. Never mind. Let me be quiet.
it's a lot better.
It's just a lot sassier, the Devils, than the Hurricanes.
Yeah. I will say,
Connotation alone.
yeah, it hits harder.
It hits hard.
And
I'm a Devils player. I'm a Devils fan. Like
I will
what?
say the Carolina Hurricanes fans,
Yeah.
like at the games, wild.
Okay.
They go crazy.
Okay.
It's giving Tifosi, which is the Ferrari fan base in F1. They are,
Feral.
if you don't
We
know what they
love.
are, please look it up. It's
a lifestyle, Brian.
it is a lot.
You're born into it.
They have their drivers' faces photoshopped onto religious objects.
They have Charles Leclerc's face photoshopped onto Jesus Christ.
They do. Okay, back to hockey. We've talked so much about F1. I'll try to cut it down. But
I think it'll just be helpful for me in the beginning because
Yeah.
that's something that I know. Ooh, sorry. That's something I know deeply. So that's helpful for me
yeah.
to remember these teams. Okay, continue.
Okay. So in 1998, they moved to North Carolina.
The year I was born. Oont, 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 oont.
They moved to Carolina again because New England's just a small area.
Yeah.
There was less marketability because there was another team already there. They also had the smallest arena in the NHL, just fan wise,
Okay.
which is fine because they were struggling to get people in.
Oh, poor babies.
But when they moved to Raleigh, there wasn't a rink big enough in Raleigh to play on. So they had 82 road games in their for their first 2 seasons,
Oh my God.
which is a lot. And they
Yeah.
also, when they had home games, the rink they played at was an hour and a half away.
Ugh.
So they're basically playing all road games.
They're commuters.
So it was a disaster for their fan base, clearly,
Yeah.
because people didn't want to drive an hour and a
No.
half. But I did have a good season that year, though.
Okay.
They were looking better. I don't know if it was just them being on the road, but they were looking better. They were about to make the playoffs. They did actually make the playoffs for the first time since 1992.
Cute.
And they ended up winning the division title
Ooh.
that season, too.
1998 was a good year, huh?
It was a good year. You were born. The Carolina Hurricanes won a division title.
Those are equal in my mind.
However, I will say, because I'm pointing out a lot of tragedies in a lot of other teams,
Oh God.
this one, the night after they won the title, Steve Chason, a defenseman of
Okay.
their team.
Hang on. We apologize if we butcher any names.
Yeah.
We will. We're Southern. We don't have class, but we are trying, I swear.
We don't have class. We have class. Was thrown from his truck and killed. It was a single vehicle drunk driving crash.
He was drunk driving? Well,
He got in an accident. He was thrown from the vehicle and he died.
ooh, that's why we don't drink and drive, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, God. We're going to get into that in a second as well. But
Oh, good.
yeah. But so in 1999, they finally finished building an arena
Okay.
in Raleigh and they moved into that arena.
Pop off.
Yeah, which was great because then they didn't have to travel so much. That season also, they made a major trade for multiple different people, but one of which was Rod Brindamore, who will hear a lot about. He is the current coach of the team.
Okay.
He is also known as Rod the Bod.
For what reason?
He's just jacked. He's been retired now, and he's still just jacked. I'll show you a picture of him in a little bit. But that big trade and moving into their own arena, they finally built up a good fan base.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
Rod the Bod.
Rod the Bod, he's intense.
I imagine all hockey players and coaches are intense. Most athletes are intense, I feel.
Yeah, that's true. Which they kind of have to be, but he kind of scares me, but not in a like he would harm me way, just in a he would tell me something truthful that would hurt my feelings.
I mean, I do that.
I know, but it's different. You're a woman. He's a like 6'2" jacked man.
I mean, yeah, it does hit different.
Yeah, we will talk. I'll talk about or I'll say it now. Actually, they did have some rocky seasons, but and they ended up having literally a $26 million payroll cut because there were so much.
Why?
They just weren't having great seasons, so they couldn't bring in great players because fans weren't coming. Because no one wants to go support a team that's not doing great. I mean, we're exceptions. I will support a losing team forever. I love an underdog.
Yeah.
But they had a big pay cut. And then in the 2004, 2005 season, they had the first ever 100-point season
Okay.
and 50-win season in their history.
Okay.
So, like, they literally got a pay cut, and we're like, fine. I'll pop off anyways.
They're like, I'm going to pop off so hard.
And then in the following season, I'm going to pop off so
hard.
hard. And then in the following season, they won the Stanley Cup.
Ooh.
And Rod Brindamore was the team captain when that happened.
Oh, okay.
So, then,
Dang, how old is he?
I don't know.
If that was 2004 and 5, I mean, it's been 20 years, so.
Yeah.
40s, 50s.
He's got to be in his 40s.
Okay.
Probably maybe 50s. I don't know. It's hard to tell because the man looks like he doesn't age. It's like Fernando Alonso. He's looked the same for 20 years.
God, I want to manifest that for myself. Please.
After they won the Stanley Cup, they had bad seasons.
Do you get money if you win the Stanley Cup?
Yes.
Okay.
And a lot of the times the players will get bonus
Yeah.
depending on where they place in
Okay.
the divisions as well. So
As
it's-
you should.
Yeah, absolutely. But the team will get more money. Obviously, fans come in, you get sponsorships, you get all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, this is kind of a trend as well, but they win the 2006 Stanley Cup Finals.
Okay.
They then 2006 to 2017, they had bad seasons.
Okay.
I think they made the playoffs a couple times, but they were out in the first round.
Yeah.
Like, they never went far if they did make the playoffs. And then in 2017, it changed ownerships.
Okay.
Tom Dundon bought the team.
Dun dun.
Dun dun. It sounds like a
Netflix.
breaking news. Oh, Netflix too, I guess. But it's like, dun dun, breaking news. Tom Dundon has overhauled all of the staffing.
It's been so long since I've listened to the news. I don't know what noise they put in front of breaking news.
I think I'm just making it up.
it's definitely the Netflix dun dun.
Yeah. Dun dun.
Anyways.
Anyways, he overhauled a lot of the staff, including head coach. I think general manager changed. He was like, this clearly isn't working.
He cleared the bench.
He cleared the whole roster.
Ooh.
not
Yeah.
literally, but you know.
Yeah.
And he made Rod Brindamore head coach. And they've only been improving since.
Good.
This year they made it to, or this past season, not this year, they made it to the Stanley Cup playoffs. I think they made it to the second round.
Okay.
Overall, they just have the one Stanley Cup.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is it common for teams to win the Stanley Cup more than once? Or does it just kind of depend?
It kind of depends.
Okay.
There's teams there's 9 dynasties
Ooh.
is what it's considered.
Okay.
We'll talk about one of them in a couple minutes.
Freaking love that there's
I would love to
dynasties in this thing.
I would love to do a whole episode on the 9 dynasties of the NHL.
We might have
'cause
to
I think
do
that's
more
such a
than one
sick-
episode. That's a lot for me to
Yeah.
take in.
But
I think that's a very interesting concept.
yeah, there's some teams that have like 1 or 2. There's other teams that have like 5.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of depends. There's teams that don't have any.
Okay. Sure.
They have 2 conference championships
Okay.
and 6 division championships.
So they're not bad.
They're not bad at all.
Yeah.
I think really since Rod became head coach, they've only improved.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. Some notable things. And I think you've maybe seen this with the Birmingham Bulls have done it, but because they have such a history as the Whalers, they will sometimes go as the Whalers for like a fun night, just for funsies. All of their stuff will say the Whalers on it. They'll change jerseys
that's
to be
so
the Whalers. Yeah, they'll call them the Whalers.
Oh.
It's so cute. I think it's adorable.
I like that. Don't forget your roots.
Don't forget what you came from.
Don't forget where you belong.
Also, these are just like random things that I wanted to mention. There's this guy on the team, Brent Burns, that looks like he just came back from fighting a war.
Oh.
He's missing like his 2 front teeth. He's got a beard.
Hell yeah.
He comes in with all these bags and like some coffee that
Like a thermos.
Yeah, like a thermos full of coffee
Yeah.
that's basically just sludge.
Like a blue collar man.
Yeah, he does not look like he belongs in this sport, but he does, like, at the same time.
Is this would you call this a pretty boy sport
No.
or would you call it like a blue collar sport? Because when I think of a professional hockey player, that's what I think of.
Blue collar?
Blue collar.
Like,
a
really?
man's man. That man knows how
they're
to fix.
definitely man's men.
He knows how to fix a sink. He can mount a mirror and shelves in like 5 minutes. That's what I picture.
I still think it depends on the guy. I think there's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
There's definitely the pretty boys. But there's also, like, the men that if you told me he was a war veteran, I'd believe you. He's so funny.
I just picture hockey players as men who are not afraid to kill bugs.
I-
Any kind of bugs. Anyways.
Yes and no. There's a couple players that I'm thinking of that I'm like, they would definitely scream as well.
I mean,
Anyways, I put as my exact description of Burns was looks like a Marine who has retired and is now putting his urge to harm others into hockey.
can I look up a picture of this man?
Yes, please do. We'll put it like right here for our visual learners.
Oh my God, yeah. This man looks like a lumberjack. And I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he has a snake farm.
I don't do that. I do not do that.
Another player you should probably know about. There's a lot of really good players on this team. Their captain right now is Jordan Stahl. His brother played with Rod Brindamore
Okay.
on that team that won the Stanley Cup.
All right.
So it's kind of, I think that's fun.
In the family.
Yeah,
Got
keep it in the family. This is what I meant by like the theme of brothers. Like him and his brother play. Andrei Svechnikov is also on this team.
That was what I feel like was a great pronunciation of
I
that.
agree. I think I did a really good job. His
Can you
brother,
say it twice?
Svechnikov.
Ooh, look at her. We could be butchering that, and I apologize.
I could be very wrong.
It sounds close to correct, if not correct.
Yeah. He's a left wing. He's very good. He does a lot of lacrosse goals is kind of what he's known for. It's a very hard goal.
Okay.
I'll show you how they basically go around the back of the net and like pick it up on their stick and just.
Oh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, I mean, I know lacrosse.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. He's done a few of
Sounds
those in
hard
his
as
time.
crap.
I think that's what it is. And it's very hard to execute. And if you do it wrong, it can go so bad for you.
Okay.
It's kind of one of those, a lot of the times they're like, if you have an opportunity to shoot it. And if it doesn't go in, it doesn't go in. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that if you're not going to do it right, just don't do it.
Okay.
Like, if it's not going to go in, don't
Okay.
mess it up.
Okay.
That's what most people think of when they think of him. Sebastian Aho, he's super talented. He's one of those really young players. A lot of who I just listed, other than Jordan Stahl and Brent Burns, are all under 25, I think, maybe under 26.
That's when I feel old.
He is the 6th all-time points leader in the franchise history.
Okay.
But he's really good. Oh, I did write down Andrei Svechnikov. The main thing I wanted to mention with him, he was the first player in franchise history to have a hat trick postseason.
What is that?
It is when you score 3 goals in one game.
Oh.
And
okay.
all the fans take their hats off and throw them on the ice.
Shut up. That's
It's
so
so
cute.
There was,
Oh, I want to see that.
yeah, it's very cute. And it's,
Hats off. I
love it. Seth Jarvis.
Is that who you said was a menace?
Yes.
He's the baby bird.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's like 22, 23, I think. He's really like an 8-year-old trapped in a grown man's body. He's just childish, but like in an uplifting way. But the second he gets on the ice, he's like locked in. He's also.
Would you say he's Peter Pan-ish?
I don't know.
Do you know what that means?
No.
They never grow up?
Yeah.
Because when you say childish, I feel like that's got a negative connotation.
No, I don't mean it negatively at all.
I know you don't mean it negatively.
I'm pretty
Because
childish.
you said it.
One thing I did want to point out about him that I found while doing this, because Rod Brindamore, head coach, intense dude. at playoffs or before playoffs, either last year or the year prior, he got a Dodge Hellcat. Do you know what that is? It's basically a race car.
Oh, no. I thought that was the tractors.
It's basically the Dodge version of like a Mustang. It's basically a race car.
Okay.
And he got to drive one for the first games of the playoffs. And the day before their first playoff game, he was doing burnouts in the team parking lot, and Rod Brind'Amour came out there and caught him.
That's what I imagine.
So that's just a good reference for how he is.
I love that. That's my kind of guy.
Yeah. I should say he's more than just a crazy kid. He is very talented, and he does have many amazing goals out there. When I think of Seth Jarvis, I think about all the silly things that he's done. Oh my gosh, Oscar Piastri has a doppelganger on this team.
Doesn't he? Everywhere.
I will say it's I will say he doesn't really look like him other than in this one picture, but
Okay.
if you know who Oscar Piastri is,
Formula One driver.
Yes.
Drives for McLaren.
he's got a doppelganger in every sport possible. I swear to you. I have the video saved somewhere. I'll show you after this. The dude looks just like him. The last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on to the next team, is they're kind of nicknamed the Bunch of Jerks.
Okay.
There was a TV commentator who was ranting about the team, and they play pretty aggressively. I will say that. And they can be a bit dirty, but aren't they all?
I don't know.
They are all.
Okay.
To an extent. They kind of took that Bunch of Jerks things because fans were outraged about it, and then haters were like, yeah, they're a bunch of jerks. So it was going around a lot anyways. The team took it and made merch on it.
They took it and ran with it.
So
I love a petty situation like that.
Yeah, this era of their playing is considered the Bunch of Jerks era.
Oh, that's so fun.
Isn't
I
it?
freaking love that.
I love it too. But yeah, they're a pretty consistent contender for playoffs. I like them. I think they're fun. Okay, we're going to quickly go over the Columbus Blue Jackets. There's not a whole lot to say. I feel like first we should acknowledge the Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau accident that happened. I think I've talked to you about it. So Johnny Gaudreau is big.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Hockey.
Yeah.
He's been a pretty consistent player for the Blue Jackets. He's kind of their man, or he was kind of their man. A couple months ago now, him and his brother were biking, and a drunk driver, just being extra reckless, hit the two of them and killed them both. It's so tragic.
Wasn't it like a day or so before their sister's wedding?
It was the day before their sister's wedding.
Oh, my God.
He's currently on trial now. He's going to go away to prison for sure. There's no way that he won't. I still think it's not enough, but that's on me. It's just heartbreaking. They are this whole season his team is wearing a little patch with the number 13 on it and stuff. He was a backbone of that team, and they already have problems.
Are they a little cursed?
Yeah, they're just not great. So they were founded in 1997.
Okay.
They didn't first play, though, until 2000.
Why?
They were just building a team,
Okay.
finding a location, different things. They are very frequently the underdogs. Pretty consistently.
I mean, they're new.
Yeah, they're consistently seeded to be last in the league.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I love an underdog.
they've never made the Stanley Cup playoffs. They've
Okay.
never made a conference final.
Okay.
The last time they were in the playoffs, they have no Stanley Cups. They have made the playoffs. The
Okay.
last time they did was in 2019-2020 season.
Oh, okay.
And they've lost in the first round.
But they still went.
They've made the playoffs 6 times, and 5 out of the 6 times they've lost in the first round. The second time, or the extra time, they made it to the second round and they lost.
Well, you know what? Maybe next time's the charm.
Yeah. They do have 2 series wins.
Okay, yeah.
Do you remember what a series is?
Don't ask me questions you don't want me to answer.
It's just like the set number of games against another team. So like they'll play.
Don't they have to play 7 times? They play each other 7 times?
In the playoffs, it's the best of 7. And other, like in regular season, it's they'll play each other 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
Up to 4, I think, if they're in the same division. But winning the majority of those games is considered a series win.
Okay. Against one team or against the teams in their division?
Against one team.
Okay. A win is a win.
I think you'll see part of the problem. They've had 11 coaches over the past 24 years of being formed, essentially.
So they're kind of like
I put them.
They're kind of like, I'm curious if we're gonna say the same person.
You say it. I want to know who you're gonna say. That F1 equivalent.
I think they're kind of like Kick Sauber, whatever the name they're currently going by is.
I said Toro Rosso, not VCarb, not AlphaTauri, Toro Rosso.
Yeah, they're very similar
because they've had the components to be okay, to be good. But they've never been able to put it together.
It's just not clicking yet.
It just hasn't clicked. They've had some good players. It wasn't enough.
Okay.
I think the issue lies deeper within the management.
Okay.
But yeah, so they are one of 2 teams in the whole league to not appear in a conference final yet. Granted, they are a new team.
They'll do it eventually.
The
probably,
other team,
statistically speaking.
Statistically, they have to.
Yeah. It's inevitable.
The only other team is the Seattle Kraken, and they're a relatively new team as well.
That's a heck of a name as well.
Okay, I had to look up what a Kraken was. It's basically like a shrimp, isn't it?
If you had read Percy Jackson when you were a preteen teenager at any point in your life, and then gotten into Greek and Roman mythology for a little bit, you would know what a Kraken is.
I didn't do it.
You didn't read Percy Jackson, and it shows.
Okay. 2016 to 2017, that was their best season to date, I would say. They had a 14-game win streak.
Period.
But they lost in the first round of playoffs.
But we still went to playoffs.
They finished the regular season, though. Okay, the scoring-wise, you'll see 3 numbers. Separated by dash. You'll see the number of wins, the number of losses, and then the number of wins in overtime.
Okay. Easy
so
enough.
They finished that season 50-24-8, which may mean nothing to you.
It's not bad.
No,
in
it was
my book.
It was a franchise record.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Let's go, boys.
Yeah. I'll say one more thing about Johnny Gordo. When he signed a 7-year deal in 2022. And I mean, he is Johnny Hockey. If you've ever heard that term, that is him.
I've never heard that in my life.
Okay.
Other than now.
He left Calgary, which was already a major shock. And he signed with the Blue Jackets for way less money than he could have made anywhere else.
Dadgummit, he was going to build
strictly
a franchise.
Strictly because they he believed in their potential.
What a good man.
Yeah. And last year, they signed a couple really good players, young players, like Adam Fantilli. I think I said that wrong.
Fantilli.
He actually didn't get to play the full season. He had a lacerated calf. Yeah.
That ain't no good. From a skate?
Yeah. Yeah. Fun facts. We're going to get to this real quick. We're going to breeze through these. Tate McRae's ex. Plays for this team.
Oh no. I can't support this team then, I feel.
I love that woman. They have a replica of the Napoleon cannon that they shoot off at the beginning of a game when the team scores and when they win a game.
That was going to be a stupid question.
Actually, like, it's not active. they're not shooting anything off, actually. No one's in danger. It's just like a replica, essentially.
Okay.
Their name and their logo, which I think their logo is pretty sick, actually. It's inspired by the Ohio Civil War, which I mentioned earlier, I believe. But they came to that name because when the team was founded, Wendy's held a name the team contest in Ohio.
I love those.
And that's what they came up with from that all. Another issue with them, though, to go along with they've had 11 coaches in the past 24 years, is they also did not have a team captain from July of 2012 to May of 2015. So almost 3.
Are you allowed? I didn't know that was allowed.
They'll have.
I
You'll
feel like
see
it's just
people-
good practice to have a team captain.
someone that kind of leads the team. Yeah.
Yeah.
You would think.
A leader, if you
Yeah,
will.
You would think.
Okay.
And that was after Rick Nash, who was he was really good. He just was never successful. The
he
Blue
wasn't
Jackets.
successful with that team. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
He actually had requested to be traded.
I love that.
Yeah. So after that, they had 3 years with no captain. Just all around bad.
The vibes were terrible.
All around bad vibes. Let's continue on the bad vibes.
Okay.
Matisse Kivleniks.
He was struck in the chest by a firework on the 4th of July, helping protect a teammate's wife and unborn baby. A
Did
rogue
he
fire-
die? Is he
Yes.
okay? He died?
That happened in 2021.
Bro.
He was
dude,
24 years old.
Shut up. Don't ever let me play for that team. Don't ever let me. Whatever they have in their water, cursed. You need a sage. You need to call down to New Orleans. Maybe get a little priest, a little pastor, if you will.
Yeah, and
Oh my
then
God.
the netting behind goals
Yeah.
to prevent pucks from going into the stands.
Yeah.
That happened because at one of their games in 2002, 2 years after being founded, or 2 years after they first started playing,
Yeah.
a puck went up and out of play into the stands and hit a 13-year-old girl in the head and killed her.
Ooh.
So now that we're depressed, let's really
I'm
quickly.
not depressed. I'm terrified of them.
Yeah. It's brutal. I think,
That is a series of unfortunate events.
and it may,
And then add Johnny Hockey on.
Mhm.
They no.
And it may be because I love an underdog. I think this is their year.
That's a cursed team, man. That's not an underdog.
Yeah.
That's a cursed team.
Yeah.
Respectfully, I hope that the curse breaks. Eventually it will.
Yeah.
Charles
they
Leclerc
have good
broke the Monza
players.
curse this year, or the Monaco curse this year.
Yeah.
So never say never, but
This is the year of breaking curses, I swear.
we need to be calling some reinforcements in to get
Yeah.
whatever curse is in place out of there.
I think truly it's a management problem. I think
No.
it goes deeper than just the players. They have the players, they have the skill.
That's way too many random bad things. The odds of getting hit in the chest with all of
Yeah.
that is too random.
Yeah.
Anyways,
The New York Islanders. I put their F1 team equivalent as Ferrari, but without the Tifosi. They have the ability to win, and they have really good regular seasons, but they struggle to be. They're not very reliable, and
yeah.
they struggle in the playoffs consistently.
Okay.
But I said they have strokes of genius. They have also made enemies. Teams.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I feel like that's fair. Yeah.
This was the other team. They were a part of the WHA merger.
Okay.
So they're currently located in Long Island.
Long Island.
LLRR. What is it?
L-I-R-R. Billy Joel. Piano Man. That's a sad one. What is it? Good morning, Saigon. Dirty old bit. If you know, you know. Billy Joel again.
So the NHL already had the Rangers in New York.
Yeah.
When they wanted to merge, the NHL was going to bring in another team to keep the WHA out of that arena. But when they merged, the WHA owed the teams in that area like compensation for different things.
Yeah.
For sharing the space.
Yeah.
And so they decided to not add an extra NHL team and just allow the Islanders to play at Nassau
I'm so proud of them.
because they would generate revenue off of that for, quote, sharing the New York area.
Look at them.
Yeah.
Choosing maturity.
Mm-hmm. Crazy, crazy. I don't know if it's maturity or if it's just the money.
I don't know. It seems like they've done some petty stuff that has not been the best financial solution.
Yeah. The rink that they were not gifted, allowed to play at,
Yeah.
was very run down.
Of course it was.
Yeah, and it was very small.
Of course.
So they kind of went back and forth for years, decades, really.
Mm-hmm.
Still kind of are up until last year
Okay.
with that rink. They couldn't practice in it when they first started because it was being renovated. So they practiced at the Rangers rink until literally the day before their first game when their arena was ready. You're gonna see there's a pretty big rivalry between the two. They're very they're close.
Sharing is not caring.
Yeah.
Pick your side.
Yeah, they did not want a younger sibling.
No.
They found pretty quick success. They spent 2 years
Okay, good.
building the team,
Yeah.
and it's expected to have growing pains
Yeah.
for sure. But after 2 years, they defeated the Rangers in their series. And
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm. And then they went on to play the Rangers again in playoffs in 1978
Okay.
and beat them in the semifinals.
Ha.
After the game, the Rangers fans threw rocks and, quote, other items at the bus and rocked the bus.
What is wrong with people?
They lost, I think, after the semifinals and went on for years to make it to the playoffs and then lose pretty quickly in the playoffs. And so a lot of people were kind of like, can they really even put it together when it matters? Hence why I put them with Ferrari.
Yeah.
But what changed a lot for them is in 79, they signed a TV network deal.
Ooh.
Specifically, the team owner signed
Okay.
a TV network deal with what is now MSG
Yeah.
Network.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the team owner was John Pickett. He was making money off of that deal. Obviously, it gave them, still to this day, 2 decades later, more than that, 4 decades later,
Yeah.
they still only stream through that network at home games.
I love it.
But John Pickett was making...
That's a good move.
Mm-hmm. John Pickett was making money off of that and then reinvesting it into the team
Yes,
up
sir.
until the mid to late 80s.
Okay.
So it helped the team a lot.
Yeah.
In the early 80s. So they are considered one of the 9 NHL dynasties.
They're a dynasty?
They won 4 consecutive Stanley Cups from in 80, 81, 82, and 83.
Okay.
So their coach was like, screw this. I don't care how we do in the regular season. We've just got to make it to the playoffs and focus on how we perform in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They proceeded to have the worst regular season that they've ever had,
Okay.
but they won the Stanley Cup.
I mean, sometimes the craziest plans
Yeah.
are the best plans.
And then they won the Stanley Cup for 3 years after.
Wow. Dare I say he's a genius.
In the semifinals of the Stanley Cup playoffs in 81,
Mm-hmm.
they played the Rangers.
Ha.
And Islander fans, chanted 1940, which was the last time that the Rangers had won a Stanley
Yes.
Cup.
You're going to come throw shit at my bus and rock it because you lost? Yeah. When you are playing me, I'm going to make sure you have the worst time ever.
Yeah,
That's me being petty.
yeah.
I love it. 1940 bitches.
Bitches.
Respectfully.
Other fans in other cities took that and they started doing it too.
1940s.
Yeah, they've continued to remain competitive, but they still, after those 4 Stanley Cups, they did slip a little bit farther back. They were more midfield teams, like, of their division. They were good.
Can I ask, did they just lose some of their big players or get a new coach or something, or just kind of,
They lost
you know,
players.
get a little
I think
sloppy?
it's also just they got sloppy. They
Okay.
got comfortable.
Yeah.
And their owner, John Pickett,
Who we love.
he began to just not reinvest the money back into them.
Who we no longer love. Who we tolerate and appreciate, but we do not love.
In 1996, he facilitated a sell. He sold the team to John Spano. However, 3 months after closing, Spano hadn't paid but a portion of the cable rights, because John Pickett didn't give up the cable rights. He was still making money that way.
Yeah.
He wasn't paying the cable rights.
Okay.
And an article by Newsday then went on to expose that John Spano was a fraud. He had not even a fraction of the money it took to buy an NHL team. And beyond that, he had 2 lawsuits pending against him for bank fraud.
Who did the background or the fine checking on that transaction? And also,
So-
can I just say, it is giving Force India.
Yes.
It's giving Force India.
You're so right.
There is a team in F1 that basically had the exact same thing happen. And
He
then
was
there's like a
tax
panic.
evasion, I think.
I know what he was. Broke.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter why.
Yeah. He forged
Dang.
this
The
guy
audacity.
he forged a lot of his bank statements and all the documents, and he even sent them from his personal office.
Thank you for being stupid.
The NHL spent less than $1,000 to look into him, and they caught a lot of heat for that. And now, obviously,
For looking into him?
for not looking into him enough.
Yeah, that's poor. That is poor execution
Yeah.
across the board. How would you not look into a prospective buyer of an entire team?
Yeah, he was sentenced to 71 months in prison for
That's
bank fraud.
it?
Yeah, 71 months. That's
How long is that?
it's like a little over 5 years.
1 month short of.
Yeah,
Let me do the math in my head. Yeah, it's 1 month short of 6 years.
Yeah. So they did end
That's
up.
it. Crazy. Couldn't be me.
They did end up getting new owners in 2000. Pewter Associates. Basic, straight to the point.
Yeah.
And when they took over, Wing's statement said, "Let's face it, the Coliseum, the arena that they were at,
Ooh, I love that name.
is a dump. And the team, well, they're losers. It's a real shame. We want to see change because this is our home. We deserve better."
Straight to the point.
Yeah,
Love it.
I loved it.
He said
Um,
this place is a dump.
They basically
Oh my god.
tried to scratch the whole team and start over.
Yeah.
And they made many unexpected trades
Yeah.
and draft picks.
Okay.
They passed on signing a guy, Ted Nolan, as head coach,
Okay.
and because their current head coach was Mike Milbury, who then took on the nickname of Mad Mike after
Why?
because of all of these crazy things that he did.
He was just not predictable. He wasn't like other boys.
Yeah. He was later replaced by Ted Nolan as head coach,
Mm-hmm.
which is funny because they passed on him.
Do they call him Sane Ted?
No.
Our dog just opened that door. Are you out of your mind? Sit.
You can stay, but you got to be calm.
You gotta,
Okay.
you gotta be quiet, Bubba.
And they proceeded to have a good turnaround. In 2001 and 2002, they made the playoffs. They lost in the first round, though.
We still made it.
These are just like some notable things now. In 2011, there's this game considered the Penguins Islanders brawl.
The Penguins,
Brawl.
Islanders, brawl. Why is
Brawl.
that so hard to say?
I know,
The
right?
Penguins and Islanders brawl.
They had basically built up tension from the previous game. Their goaltender was injured, and you don't touch a freaking goaltender in hockey.
Yeah.
They will end your life. It resulted in 64 penalties, including 15 majors for fighting,
Okay.
21 game misconducts, 346 penalty minutes
Oh my god.
between both teams, and a $100,000 fine.
That sounds. First of all, thank you for standing on business.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, I want to watch this.
Yeah. They still had poor attendance.
Who won?
I don't think there's a winner from that. The
the audience member, we're the winner from that.
The Islanders were penalized more out of that.
Lame.
Yeah. They had that $100,000 fine.
Okay.
So there's this one guy, because I talked about players from the Hurricanes. I'll talk about players from here. Really, the only one I have is Matt Barzal. The TikTok girlies thirst after that man. He didn't play until 2018.
Okay.
Because they're drafted at 18. A lot of them will go play college. Yeah, they're drafted so... It's like baseball, though. They're drafted, and then there's time before they actually go play.
I don't know nothing about baseball.
In his 2018 season, rookie season, he led the team and all NHL rookies that season in overall points.
Shoot, okay.
He was 13th overall
My
in the
lucky number.
NHL.
Okay.
And he was the first rookie since Sidney Crosby to score at least 20 goals and 60 assists in a season.
Wow. So he's that bitch.
Yeah. Assists, they get points for...
For assisting with a goal?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
In 2020, they advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 1993.
Amazing.
They lost, but they did it.
We still went.
Yeah. Last year, they finished third in the division.
Okay.
Let's see. These are just the other things. They also have the Easter Epic. It's considered the longest deciding game in a Stanley Cup final
Okay.
in history.
How so?
It was 6 hours and 18 minutes long. They played through the middle of the night. So this was the 7th game. So the
Okay.
deciding game.
Yeah.
They had 4 overtimes.
Okay.
They played from 7:40 on April 18th to 1:58 a.m. the next day, which happened to be Easter,
No.
which is why it's the Easter Epic.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Christ is risen.
Christ is risen, and so have the Islanders.
Good God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think I might be an Islanders fan.
They had, so this is a funny thing.
Hang on. That Jarvis guy, he reminds me of Jason Kelsey. Just that like childhood energy
Yeah.
that just never grows out of. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say
Yeah.
about that because I know we're way over on the allotted time I told you I was gonna give you.
Yeah, I'm stressed. Okay. In 1996, they
Mhm.
attempted to have a rebrand.
No.
Yeah, they changed their logo to be a fisherman holding a hockey stick. And Rangers fans called them fish sticks.
That's appropriate.
Yeah, it was funny. They changed their logo as soon as the NHL allowed it. So about midway through that season. It didn't
Whoever
last
said
very
that
long.
was a good idea that
Yeah.
was not it.
And then I'll leave you with this. They have both the longest and the shortest contracts in NHL history.
Okay.
The longest was Rick DiPietro in 2006,
Mm-hmm.
which was already he was a super controversial draft pick that Mad Mike did.
Okay.
He was signed to a 15-year contract,
Okay.
which is insane.
15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is not only believed to be the longest contract in NHL history, but it is the second longest contract in North America sports outside of Magic Johnson, who signed a 25-year deal with the Lakers.
And have they benefited from a 15-year contract?
No, he has retired.
Okay.
But Wang, the same guy, the same owner, it was around that time. His quote when everybody was like, why would you sign a 15-year deal?
Get that money, honey.
This is not a big deal.
Oh.
You have to commit to who you're working with. Period. Their shortest deal, though.
He said, what are you trying to say?
he was like,
You trying to say I'm not worth it?
well, that
Why are
was,
you being dramatic?
that was the
Let's all
owner.
calm down.
that was the owner. The
Okay.
same one that was like, let's face it, they suck.
They're terrible.
The shortest contract, you'll love this.
Okay.
Back in their dynasty era,
Mm-hmm.
their coach was Al Arbor. And in 2007, they signed him to a 1-day contract to get
Okay.
him to be able to coach one more game to make his total number of games coached for them 1,500.
That is the cutest shit I've ever seen in my life. You're right. I think so far the Islanders are taking it.
He is the only coach in history to have 1,500 games coached at the same team.
What a feat.
They
What
won
an
that
absolute
game.
feat. Yes, they did. How are you going to lose that game? You're not.
Yeah. They won that game, raising his total coaching wins to 740.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget that.
Don't you
Write
ever
that
forget
down.
it. Write that down. I did.
Put it on a plaque.
Write that down. Write that down.
Okay.
And that's what I have for you.
okay.
Do
Well,
we-
this was a long one,
This was a long one.
but so far, really like the Islanders. Their name's not
Mhm.
very intimidating, but I like their vibe.
Yeah. they have
I
good
love
vibes.
an underdog.
Yeah.
The vibes the Rangers have given off thus far are terrible. I don't love them. It's giving Alabama.
We haven't
but
even
I don't
talked
know.
about the
I don't know
Rangers.
about them. I just know about their behavior.
We will talk about, next week we're going to talk about the New Jersey Devils
Okay.
and the New York Rangers.
Okay.
And I have a lot to say about those two teams.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, initially, I don't like the Rangers,
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
I like
Thank you.
the Devils. What
New Jersey Devils.
New Jersey Devils? Because I like that name. That's
Mhm.
intimidating. I also like the Krakens, whoever they are. Wait, where'd you say they are?
Yeah, Seattle Kraken.
The Seattle Krakens. I like that.
Okay. This has been Two Girls Chirping. Thank you for listening
Thanks.
or watching.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.